Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of Arms Ranked. This one is a pretty special one because, check this out, I'm rank 20 now. So, I've got barely anything on rank 20. I'd show you, but the dashboard hasn't updated yet, and I don't want to accidentally enter a match. But I sort of just went on a long playing session to try and grind to rank 20 because I had, just a little bit more to go and I wanted to make that final push. So there's going to be a lot of fights today. But anyway, let's start with MC Fallen Star. So let's get into this. It's on Ribbon Ring. I don't see coils very often. And usually when I do, they're rank 20, so I usually lose to them because I don't even know how to fight coil players, and then good read on their part. And not to mention, combined with being ranked 20, they're just really good. I've recently started incorporating this combo. I've seen it used on me and on other people quite a bit, but I've never quite gotten the hang of it until recently. But basically, you punch with a normal arm, and the other person, they do have time to react, but I'd say about 80% of the time, people react by blocking, because, I mean, logically it's the safest option. Whenever someone's in your face, more often than not, they're going to go for punches and not grabs. Although there are exceptions. Some players either are really good and play mind games to get grabs, and some players are just really bad and spam grabs. But I go ahead and rush just because I don't want to risk letting her get the ball rolling and taking the round, because I was iced and she was about to grab. I think I figured out why sometimes punching doesn't break grabs, and this is just a theory. I don't know if it's confirmed, because it could also just be maybe there's a little bit of lag that's unavoidable just because it's an online game. But my main theory is that if the grab is 1 inch away from you and you punch, the punch hitbox doesn't start until it's, say, a foot away from you. So if whenever you punch, the grab is not within that foot range, or the grab is closer than a foot, then a punch will not break the grabs because the punch hitbox won't collide with it. But generally speaking, if you're reacting to grabs, then that's pretty impressive, but I guess you just gotta be a bit faster. Anyway, I'm able to just slip a grab in there to take the game. And on to the next game. Fallen Star switches to Mechanica, which, people switch characters for all kinds of reasons, so I'm not going to make any real guesses, but if I had to guess, either Coil is their secondary and they were trying to train up with her, but Mechanica's their main, or Mechanica is their secondary and they just figured that they'd do better if they used Mechanica, considering I was using the nade. Went ahead and switched to the clapback, just because against the coil, and I get too greedy here, I should have just gone for a charge Salamander, would have been guaranteed. But I'd say against coil, shield arms, notably the Guardian, but also the clapback, although I haven't really tried a whole lot, wouldn't really be that great against her because she's always got the high ground, so she can just punch right over your shield, which is a similar reason why I don't usually use it on Ribbon Girls. That's not to say I never do, but I prefer not to. But, yeah. Also, the tip of the Salamander hits him to take round 1. I went ahead and just switched back to nade, though, because it's more comfortable, and the clapback doesn't seem to be putting in as much work as a nade would. So I just decided to keep the nade. So their arm is weak, and I've almost got rush, meaning if I were to rush them, right now, it would have been almost guaranteed to hit, assuming that they didn't dodge it, because if they blocked it or just took the hit, I would have broken their shield or just hit them. Anyway, they're at very low health now. I'm not too worried, but I just have to continuously remind myself that whenever you have the lead, you have to play it cool, especially in pressure situations, as you might see later on, because whenever you don't play it cool, you might let things slip, because characters in this game only have 1,000 health. And see, that rush, I dodged like half of it. It did 160 damage. Grabs take the win in this case, but grabs do 150 and upwards damage depending on the character. Master Mummy can KO with 5 grabs. And really, most punches do about 100 damage, so my super armor lets me soak up a lot more, but still, you could potentially be KO'd within 10 hits if you're not good enough. But that's kind of the beauty of this game, is that it's not about landing flashy combos and learning a bunch of tech skill. It's once you get past the barrier of this game is weird, I don't know how to control stretchy arms, there's not a whole lot in terms of tech. Like, there's dragon canceling, shield canceling, like clapback or guardian canceling, and there's some funny stuff you can do with rushes and pillars, but that's about it. And like even stuff like the weird dashes, like if you jump and dash, grab a pillar, you can sometimes dash again. I've seen people, they jump, dash, rush, and then they get their dash back, so they air dash again. But I'd say except for the cancels, like dragon and shield arm canceling, most of the weird tech you might find is fairly situational and almost useless. So, okay, moving on with this match, Amalgam. I remember facing this player a while ago whenever I was on a really bad losing streak. I think they were the player that kind of kicked it off. They made me kind of salty, but I didn't stop playing, which was a huge mistake because I lost a ton of games in a row. And I'm not going to blame it on them, but it was just kind of a depressing reminder of that one time whenever I let a lot slip. So I was pretty nervous going into this fight, especially since I can't remember if they were ranked 18 or 19, but either way, I was fairly close to ranking to rank 20, so I didn't want to let any of this slip. Like, I think I was like 3/4 bar. Luckily, the toaster hits them in the air, so they really get no benefits to icing me besides the damage. I switched to the clapback because she's using 2 straight flying arms. But we've both got rush now. I'm trying to save my rush because I think I have a slight health lead. Not anymore, but there we go. I must have been mistaken for the 3rd round. My bad. But really, I'm just using the clapback as a defensive tool so that I have something to defend myself, because otherwise she's just gonna pound me. Mechanica, like, really her defensive options on her own aren't actually that great, just because she's so large. Her sliding, like skating with dashes is pretty good, but you're not going to dodge a whole lot if people know where you're going. I go ahead and just hold block because I know a grab wouldn't do enough damage to give them the round, and if they were stupid and decided to rush, I would just block it. Switching to Scorpio is a smart decision because it can go around the clapback pretty convincingly, like as you see here, and I wasn't really prepared to deal with it because not often do I deal with arms with such curvatures as Scorpios and Boomerangs with the clapback. Usually the worst I have to deal with is a gigantic Chakram or Ram, which will usually not even go around the clapback if it's placed well. Or the Slamamanders have a similar thing, is that they're just so big that they usually still hit the clapback if you space it right. I go ahead and rush. I think if I had started off by using the clapback, it would have landed because they were dodging out of the way. But they have a pretty significant health lead, so I'm really trying my best to not overextend and get too nervous or salty against this player, because I really didn't want to let them get the best of me. Not again, I guess. And again, it's not their fault. Maybe I'll just slip a grab in there, but again, it's not their fault. It's just kind of a me thing, I guess. But anyway, I noticed that I've got a significant health disadvantage, and there's 10 seconds left. So I know a rush will end it for either of us. Not like KO, but go beyond recovery. So I'm saving my rush until she uses hers, so I can go ahead and use the clapback to plow through whatever she's got, and then just run away and take the game. So I was pretty pleased, but I figured because I usually do this and there wasn't really any reason not to, I decided to rematch them. And we go to Name Redacted. Honestly, the more I play on this stage, the less the pillars bother me, because I'm just starting to figure out how to better use them to my own advantage and how to stop hitting them. And it's kind of similar for the cars in Cinemadoo, but I still feel like Cinemadoo is way worse. But as you could see there, I was spamming dash with the ice to get behind the pillar so that the worst she could do is punch me. Which I guess would be pretty bad if it was charged, but still. Yeah, I forgot that she did this, but switching to double bird chucks just made me very, very happy. And honestly, I thought that was a kind of a poor decision because I have to deal with bird chucks so often that they don't phase me as much as they used to. Like, I've still got to keep my guard up. Go ahead and see her dash forward and rush, but I've got to keep my guard up just so no like pro players catch me off guard using with them using bird chucks. But a lot of the times I know kind of what the strategy is, and then Toaster or Scorpio, probably a significantly better combo, especially on a stage like this. I've also started noticing the pillars often come in set formations, like this 2-pillar diagonal thing. I see a lot more than I should. I'm able to predict the rush, but unfortunately they break my shield. There's also some 3-pillar setups that I see sometimes. Like I think there's one that's coming right now. Yep. I don't know if the pillars come in a set formation every match or not, but I do like almost subconsciously know what's coming next whenever I see a pillar. But yeah, I'm just trying to space myself correctly. I'm able to get a good read on the block, and now any hit will finish it. Poor Scorpio. Its dreams were crushed by the conveyor belt. But yeah, so good games, Amalgam. Our next opponent is 20, but they were not ranked 20, they were rank 19, but I know their name, it's just a pun on Twin Towers. They start off with double Thunderbirds, and Bird Arms give me a lot of trouble. They're really good at catching Mechanica's movement options. They can catch her dashes or jumps, pretty much everything. You have to know exactly how they're gonna curve, like are they gonna curve upwards, downwards, or to the side in order to actually dodge them. Or, you know, you can just block them, because they have a lot of recovery time from blocks. Not to mention Twin Tail just is a character that generally gives me a lot of trouble. Ignore the sounds of barking you can inevitably hear from my crazy dog. I'm able to slip a grab in there from that. Admittedly reckless, but I can understand why they did it rush. I make the same mistake right there. So, yeah, I'm just guessing they were predicting me to punch, but I didn't. I blocked, and then they lost the trade. Gonna go ahead and break the pillars. And that explosion hitbox lasts for a ridiculously long time. I swear, it's so annoying dealing with, like, CPs and then, like, you get shocked by the smoke. But anyway, they've almost, or now they have rush, but I've almost got rush as well. I'm just trying to use the pillars as defense because a rush would finish me off, like, or basically get me in a disadvantaged state. Like, not really anything I can do now to take back this round except for this, and I do. So that was pretty lucky. Not to mention I get to go into the next round with rush. I switched to double nades because I figured that might be a better choice against Twin Tail in general. But she went ahead and switched over to the Parasol, so rip. I hate Parasols. Nothing against the arm itself. It's just one of the more annoying ones to deal with. In fact, Twintel's default set would like destroy me. Or like replace the Chilla with a roaster and you have my weakness. But yeah, these nades really just struggle. I can't really get a hit in because she'll dodge and then punch the other one down with the parasol, and then the Thunderbird's not going to hit either one of them and might even hit me instead. Not to mention, forgetting to just spam the slowdown makes it difficult. I was expecting a grab, but smart enough on Twinty's part, they just block instead. And also, I'm sorry if I'm getting any like genders wrong. If like the player doesn't have a very feminine or masculine name, and I can't tell the gender based off of prior knowledge, like knowing the player before, or, you know, them having a name like John or Sally or something, then usually I just go with the gender of the character they're using. Like Twintel, I'd say she, because Twintel's a girl. And I would have won that round had the parasol not landed, and at first I thought they were doing some weird taunt or something, but then I saw this massive teleport, so that was kind of funny. I switched back to the Slamamander in hopes of dealing with the parasol better. Definitely have got to learn not to use the Slamamander up close against Twintel, because you can basically just like ignore it. But yeah, I think I don't know, I've never really used Twintel a whole lot, so I wouldn't know who like is good against her. I know one Twintel player, Gigavolt, I think, says that he hates nades, but that's about the best I've got. Go ahead and rush again, but they predict it. Grab misses though. Both of their arms are weak. I'm hoping at least to get an arm break, but alas. I did not see that last hit of the Thunderbird coming and just end up eating the hit from it. Which puts us, I think we were about even until I slapped her. But if I had to make a guess, Twintel is good against bigger slow characters or slow arms. Because of her abilities, they really favor a more defensive and evasive playstyle. So, heavy characters, as long as they can be really aggressive, don't really stand a chance. I just let her grab me, same as Amalgam. Nothing, except for a rush, there's nothing they could do that would bring my health low enough. And she would need the KO, or me to be on like literal Magic Pixel to win. So I just shield and grab whatever. But yeah, maybe a character that's like Ninjara or Kid Cobra would do better against Twintel. But anyway. Going to name redacted again. I wonder when there's going to be an episode where we don't go to the stage. That's a joke. It's not. Again, I don't know how that grab deflected the parasol just then. But like, again, name redacted. I think I give it a pretty bad rep. It's not the worst stage in the game. The worst stage is Stone for ranked mode, at least. Snake Park barely exists anymore. I only see Snake Park in party matches every now and then. Not really a whole lot to say though. I'm trying to play defensively with the pillars. Like just now trying to hobble behind it, so maybe it gets shocked. The explosion saves me. Also, I couldn't tell if that was a taunt or not. Just then, because I couldn't even see her. But I definitely could have gotten a really cool rush combo there. But I guess I'll just have to take a good read instead. Oh well. And again, like, at this point, only a grab, or only a rush would do it, and behind the pillar, she can't even get a grab on me. So I'm able to take round 1. Unfortunately, though, they have a rush now, so they can bring to pain. Luckily, I'm able to react to the rush, but end up eating an explosion, whatever. Incorrect prediction of the direction she's gonna go, or overcorrection, I guess. Luckily, I'm able to get that rush. That was really far away, and like, if she hadn't punched with the Thunderbird, or the Thunderbird had like hit a pillar, she would have shielded that thing for sure. But yeah, both of us, like, generally speaking, can't seem to get a good rush read, because we're just like expecting some sort of aggression, but instead of going for a grab, we just go for the rush, and then it gets blocked. But yeah, I go ahead and rush because her shield's low. Slamamander could have broken it easily, and take game number 2. So good games 20. Next up is, we're gonna skip the party match. Honey Badger. Something interesting happened with this player. I've encountered them before. They were another player that was on that losing streak I mentioned earlier, so I was also like kind of upset going into this fight. Especially because it's like, I don't know how to deal with good Springtron players. I don't see good Springtron players very often. This player is a good Springtron player, and they're able to get these grabs. Like, I tried to punish that one. I'm not going to fall for it a third time. I'm surprised he went for it a third time even. But yeah, this guy plays a lot like Twintel in the sense that he's not going to do anything until you punch, and then he's going to double punch, and with Mechanica it's nearly unblockable or undodgeable. So I'm in a disadvantage, and he's going for these, and like, I don't even know how I messed that up. It seems like something I wouldn't mess up so easily. Like, that was a good rush, but like, Springtron's EMPs, I'm usually so good at punishing them, so I'm guessing that either they were just really well spaced, or the rush just wasn't fast enough. But yeah, I'm trying to play a bit more aggressively against this player. Probably a bad decision, but what am I supposed to do? Let him, like, charge EMP? Just play the neutral game where he's not going to do anything until I make an opening? And that's the sort of rush that, like, really gets me, is whenever they punish something like, and see, I do the same thing that he just did to me and it doesn't work, and I'm wondering if, I don't know, maybe I didn't really do the same thing, or maybe it's just that his character is, like, skinnier. But yeah. I want to make a comeback, but alas I don't. So, good game, Honey Badger. This next game, something really funny happened. While trying to select the blue Mechanica skin, I mistakenly selected Min Min, and then won with Min Min. So, this was a mistake. I swear this was a mistake. I did not mean to choose Min Min. If I were to choose Min Min, I would not have chosen this ugly yellow-black skin. But I just go double Chilla. Figure probably a bit harder to outbox than double nade. But yeah, I'd say I use Min Min more than a lot of other characters, but that's just relatively speaking. Like, if you had a chart showing the characters that I use, I'd say it'd be 90% Mechanica, 5% Misango, and then the other 5% is everyone else. And within that 5%, maybe like quarter of that is Min Min. So all the experience I'm getting with Min Min is from playing other players. and not actually of my own accord. So. And also, I think Min Min is just a very standard character in the sense of like ability and speed. So, like if I had mistakenly selected someone like Kid Cobra, I would have gotten totally beaten because he's an awkward character to use. But Min Min is not an awkward character to use, even though I don't use her very often. She does not feel awkward. I go ahead and I'm sick of being punished for punishing his punishable EMPs, so just go ahead and take the opportunity to get a free Dragon Arm instead. That's a good shot. What a shocking turn of events. Anyway, he dodges the rush, and my phone won't unlock because my finger's sweaty. But I try and dodge the rush. Luckily I don't get the full damage, but I got too greedy there. And we're dancing. My favorite dance is the arms dance. Punch, dodge, punch, dodge. But he's going for that trick again, but he's got a significant health lead, I'd say. I'm able to just charge the arm in the nick of time. Honestly, if I knew how to use Min Min, I'd probably, like, be... Honestly, I think I'd actually be pretty good at Min Min after seeing that she's just a very standard character, and, like, I think she's even easier to use than Springman. Maybe she has a lower skill ceiling, I don't know. But they're able to get a Shock 2 grab, so good on them. I go ahead and switch to Tribals because I figure, like, well, maybe instead of trying to outbox, like trying to play defensively, I can go on the offense with a light arm and overwhelm him with speed. And maybe I've just found his weakness is, yeah, Tribal's pretty good. Maybe I'll equip it on my Mechanica sometime in the future. It could be worth a shot. But yeah. Chilla seem also more effective than Nade against this player, but maybe it was just Min Min. At least I didn't have default Min Min, because I'm really bad at the Dragon, I'm decent with the Megawatt, I don't really use Chakram or Ramram that often, although I'm still kinda good at them just because Curving Arms, they all have a sort of similar playstyle, although Boomerang and Coolerang are more defensive, while Chakram and the Whip Arms are more aggressive. Then Birds and Scorpios can be played either way, I'd say. But unfortunately, Honey Badger didn't go for the rematch, so good games. Next up is yet another encounter with Gabby Cats. These are honestly starting to get a little bit repetitive. But I think bigger stages are better to fight her on because you have a lot of space to work with, a lot of space to run away. You can knock her down and then run really far away. So Sky Arena is especially good because she has to jump to get back on it if you knock her down. Which, I mean, she doesn't have a problem doing, but it does kind of give an extra step, I guess. I don't know. But I'm able to get her to her life down to really low pretty cleanly, and able to get a good, like, beat her rush out and just KO her with a bunch of slaps. So she switches over to the Boomerang and basically doing the same thing again. And honestly, this is the sort of strategy that I don't exactly know how to deal with it once she gets up close to you, which is why I try my hardest to keep her away. Maybe it would be wise to put like an ice arm, like a Chilla or something, just to freeze her in place, like, hi, you're frozen now, so now I can hit you with whatever I want, assuming you don't block. And I don't even know how that hit her, but whatever. I've had stupid things hit me like that before, so I'll let the same thing happen to her. But this first game went really cleanly, and I was kind of surprised, and I'm just guessing it's because of the stage, or maybe it has in a sort of different mentality after winning with a character I don't use a lot. But we go to Ramen Bowl, which I was initially excited about because, like, Gabby Cats can, like, never truly have the high ground because you can just run away back to the high ground, and it's a big stage. But oh, was I wrong, these games did not go well. I don't know if it's just me or that Hydra looked fast, but she slips in this crazy grab, and yeah. Luckily I'm able to land a rush, and she's got almost no health left, so she gets this good grab in. I think she went under my grab or something, but I'd say, like, she played surprisingly patient in the next 2 rounds. Like, I have never seen her play this patiently before, and I was really impressed. So, good for her. Or maybe I was just playing too aggressively, but she was not spamming the clapback. She was dashing around, blocking a lot. And she was still playing, like, generally aggressively, but, like, she wasn't going completely hand-hands, I guess. She wasn't jumping as much either. She was dashing a lot more. Like, it was almost like fighting a different player. Like, the only critique I'd give is often she would get into this, like, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left thing, but I never punished it, so that's on me, not her. Although some other players might be able to do something about that. Players more skilled than myself. But yeah, I'm just going a bit too wild with these Slamamanders. I thought I could still take it back, but unfortunately she lands a rush. I'm able to block it, but I dash the wrong way, predict the wrong direction, and she's able to just bash me with the clap back. So I decide that I need to play a bit more patiently this round as well. I get a good read on her blocks, because in between dashes, it's like she's holding down the block button while dashing or something. But she slips in the grab, and I'm overextending for sure. And she gets another, I think that was a read. I think she got me, like, on the first frame I blocked. But yeah, I'm really trying my best to just play patient, but I'm not really succeeding. She's doing a lot better job. And she's also doing a really good job staying at, like, a really good distance away from me. And just landing these, like, surprise grabs. Her spacing is phenomenal. And I was fully expecting her to rush or at least punish me with a flaming cracker, but no, she just goes for the grab, so great work. On our third game, we went back to Sky Arena, and I was thinking, oh, well, maybe I'll do better because I won the first Sky Arena match. I also switched back to the nade because it's Ninjara we're dealing with, not Mechanica, and I think the nade is way better at dealing with crackers than any curving arm is, really. Curving arms, I think the good way to beat them is by using the light arms, because the light arms will win the race. I'm able to punish Ninjara's whiff. Kind of surprising. That was an attempt, a successful attempt, but I don't usually do it very well. But yeah, light arms are probably the best counter to curving arms, besides just skillful play, because they'll beat light arms are faster, so they'll beat curving arms to the punch, and they can also, they're harder to hit down with curving arms because they'll just go around them, especially things like the Hydra. I just popped my rush out right off the bat, but especially things like the Hydra or even the Popper, like maybe the Tri-Blast or Tri-Bolt could be managed with something like the Boomerang, but that's pushing it. Like, I get into such a habit of curving arms whenever I throw them that, like, it almost feels wrong to intentionally throw them straight. It's like almost muscle memory and it can't break the habit. But yeah, if I had waited just a little longer, then I could have punished or still hit her with a partial rush. But unfortunately, I don't wait long enough. So I've still got a decent health lead, but I've got to remember, like, be careful, don't get too confident, and I end up going for a kind of punishable punch and get wrecked. So on to round 3, I went ahead and put the nade in my dominant hand because, again, using motion controls, I think because I use motion controls and I'm right-handed is like the only reason that I wouldn't be good with Min Min, or that like I can't use her to her maximum potential, is just because like my aim with my left hand is a lot worse, which is why I usually put a curving arm or a shield arm there. The only time I put a glove arm is whenever I go double up on glove arm. So she gets a good grab. I've got to respond to something real quick, so just enjoy the game for now. Alright, I'm back. Looks like I'm back just in time to see myself get eaten by a rush. But I'm still not in the red, and I'm able to just catch her in the air, so good game, Scabby Cats. This puts us 3-2 or something? I don't know. We can look in later. But our final 2 matches are against Jeeves and Nuru. I vaguely remember fighting this player, but then it all came back to me whenever I saw the loadout they were using. What I don't remember is seeing this. Like, for whatever reason, they were lagging like crazy in round 1. And then round 2, perfectly fine, no lag at all. Well, maybe a little, I can't really remember. But yeah. And see, that puff of smoke I'm pretty sure can shock you, but it also blocks your view, which gives them a good opportunity to do pretty much whatever they'd like. I'm able to block the rush just in time, and then I just run away to not absorb any more chip damage. But just seeing them teleporting around like this, I'm just spamming because, like, what is even happening? Like, here, take this rush. You took 20 damage. Woohoo. But, like, this is being really acrobatic. But I guess this is what you get for fighting a clown. Anyway, yet another rush. I'm surprised I dodged the clapback because that thing is a beast. And I'm able to just flip in and grab. Trying to just run away or play super like, yeah, can't hit me with all these punches. Just slowly back away and take the round. So on to round 2. No arm switches, although I do have rush going into this. Honestly, I don't think there was really anything I could have done. The camera was too slow for me to punish their dash, and they were able to just block whenever they landed. So, rip that rush. However, rip this rush too, just kind of run away. I think they have the lead, but not anymore. And not after that read. I finally get a read on the Lollipop's blocks because, like, Lollipop is the sort of character, kind of like Mummy, that I'd expect to see blocking a ton. I go for a grab because it kind of looked like it shocked her, but it didn't. but I end up getting rushed. But yeah, as I was saying, Lolipop is a character that you'd think you'd be able to read their blocks because they do it so much, yet it is way easier said than done. Like, again, I'm able to block in the nick of time, but it's way easier said to just like read Lolipop's and Mummy's blocks than actually done. Just because they've got it like the timing nailed. They block whenever you can't really punish it, but they make it look like you can. And I don't even know if that's intentional or just the way I'm interpreting it. But with 5 seconds left, I'm so glad that didn't blow up in my face. I just rushed to keep them back. So, good game, Jeeves. Unfortunately, they didn't want to rematch, so we go on to our final match against TCM Naru. They were also using blue Mechanica with nade and clapback, although they didn't equip it the first round. I didn't know which character this player was going to use, but they had a Mechanica badge, so I went ahead and put the roaster on anyway, and looks like it worked out for me, because they did use Mechanica. Maybe I should go on the leaderboard and write down which character everyone's using, so I know how to counterpick. And I see double Hydra, and I'm just intrigued because I wouldn't expect someone who's rank 20 to use a combo that's notorious for like ribbon girls who are ranked 15 or whatever to use. But, you know, I've got to be careful not to get too confident or anything like that. I probably could have gone for more grabs, but I didn't want to get rushed. I end up getting this grab, but it doesn't finish them off, and I was really expecting to win this game, but then they like shift to this really grabby and defensive playstyle, which makes it very difficult. And this playstyle, I wasn't able to adapt in time to avoid getting like majorly rushed, and they end up taking round 1. So good job on their part. Round 2, they take a completely different turn and switch to clapback and nade. Luckily, I'm able to deflect the clapback, as you saw by the little pink circle, and I even get the cute little combo. Yeah. TCM, I have to look up what that means later. I don't really know what TCM stands for, but I think it's some sort of arms team. But I think I was expecting that they were going to go back to the sort of grabby defensive playstyle, or like at least try and build rush up, and I didn't want to let that happen because I didn't need them to be like, here you go, here's another crazy comeback, especially whenever like if I won this match, I was going to be ranking up to rank 20, and I mean, spoiler alert, I won. So there was extra pressure to win on that factor. But luckily I'm able to read a block at last and grab him to take him out in round 2. Round 3, he finally switches to what I'd say is a reasonable combo, being the nade and Hydra. But he's back to his sort of a combination of the grabby playstyle and the aggressive playstyle that he was using. It's like it's almost like he's got a couple modes, but he can sort of get in between them like a spectrum in a way. Sort of the aggressive and defensive mode, and he's put it in the middle. Maybe slightly towards the defensive side, but unfortunately I'm unable to block the rush in time, and he lands it on me. But I think one more grab or roaster hit would finish it off, but I just go for a rush thinking like, they keep double punching and the nade explosion ain't gonna phase me, so I win the game. And if you saw my other video titled 20, this is the match. And it's just the reason I didn't rematch is because I wanted to at least hold on to rank 20 for a decent amount of time, like a day before encountering someone like Gabby, ranked 18, and then go back to like rank 19 and 3/4. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a very nice day. Bye!